Moving Ahead for Progress in the 21st Century. That is the new transportation bill that Congress passed in June of this, at the end of June of this year. It took effect October 1st. And what it did, it provided funding for 2 years, 2013 and 2014, for both highway and public transportation. It also consolidated some fund sources, eliminated some fund sources, and put in a couple of new fund sources.
Unfortunately, MAP 21 has eliminated some of the categories that bicyclists, bicycle advocates, city planners, state planners could use to better the transportation conditions, particularly on road, for bicyclists.
You had to set aside money for those purposes, and one of the biggest things that came out of it was bike paths and different bicycle pedestrian programs. Probably that's what most states probably used it for. Landscaping would be the next big one. Yeah. Well, with transportation alternatives, you can transfer funds from transportation alternatives into the other funding categories for highways. Okay. So you don't have to use it all for transportation alternatives. Also, that same pot of money is still being used for safe routes to schools and everything else that was consolidated. So it didn't necessarily cut money for bicycles. Yeah. It cut money in the sense that states now do not have to use the money for bicycles or for enhancement type programs.
The transportation enhancements category of funding, which I think covered 12 separate categories. For instance, a trail like this could have been rehabilitated or actually constructed from scratch using transportation enhancement funds. That is gone. So there's a lot more competition for less money, and that's going to make it tough.
Well, I think for Albuquerque, we'll continue funding a lot of the programs we've had before. I think mass transit, we put a lot of money toward mass transit, ridership in this metropolitan area for public transportation has more than doubled in the last 10 years. Now that's unheard of for a medium-sized city the size of Albuquerque.
You know, the question then becomes, what kind of balance do you want to have, knowing that, you know, in most cities bicycling is a really small percentage of total users, but you do want to create that space and allow people to pursue that activity, but how does that fit into a larger mix?